Hi guys, how are you? Hi everybody, how are you today?
What's up, everybody? Happy weekend.
What's up, everybody? Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. It is slow. We are working hard to get you the content. Like the video. It's absolutely free. Thank you.
All right, listen. So I always talk to different content creators on the phone, talk about stories and stuff like that. I was talking to Danat, and we were talking about this Austin Metcalf story. It's about the two teenagers that got into a fight, and one of them pulled out a poke. I don't even know if I can say it, and unalived the other student. And we were just talking about it, and I said, listen. Let's just bring it to the screen because it's turned very racial. And they're going crazy on social media about it, being rude about it. So we're gonna take on the challenge. We're gonna talk about it here. I mean, someone says, "Danat, I'm single." Okay. Okay. So
I am here to represent House of Clout. Danat, I don't know him.
And then we're going to throw in the Terrence Howard and Cardi thing, but really the most of this video is going to be about what happened. I mean, it's just United States is just, I don't know. So let's start with the light stuff first. And then we'll get into the heavy. I didn't even pull it up. So did you guys know that Terrence Howard came out and said that Diddy it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It said that Diddy tried to groom him.
Oh, hell no.
I shouldn't be laughing. It is so bad. I don't know why I'm laughing. Because number one, I'm kind of over the Diddy stories. I said I wasn't going to do another Diddy story, but court is coming out. And we were debating about this on the phone anyway. Do you think this is going to go to trial?
Well, he just had 2 new charges in a 3rd superseding indictment. And from what literally in the past 2 days, he had 2 charges added on. And for this to be added on as close to trial as possible, maybe I'm like, do they have to do procedural motions? It's like even in civil courts, you got different causes of actions, you attack them differently with different motions, right? And so now he has to go through the procedural things in order to say that these 2 new counts can go to trial. So Diddy is not going. I think Lil Durk is going to end up going to trial before Diddy. 3rd superseding indictment, people coming out of the woodworks, all about Terrence Howard coming out, but and we can get to that. But Terrence Howard, I'm still looking at him sideways. You the same one.
He's so cute. We can't look at him. He was Lucius. Perry, what are your thoughts? Is Diddy going to trial? I mean, this is just getting out of hand.
Look, eventually he's gonna have to go to trial, or he'll be demanding house arrest until trial. You know what I'm saying? It'll be something going on. I don't know, but
just say that I'm over it. Are you over it? I hate to say
I'm over it. When Danat brung up the last 2 days, you was like, I didn't know that. Yeah, I seen it. I just didn't tell you because I'm over it. Right? Okay. At this point, either he go to court, be found guilty, or not guilty. At this point, and the way things going, when things get quiet like this, next thing you know, Diddy be back at some club. Can't stop, won't stop.
Well, I beg to differ because what's happening is while he's been locked up, there's allegations that Jay-Z is tied to the company that actually bought all the publishing and the rights to Biggie's catalog, in which was a foundation of Diddy's enterprise. Right? So they usurped that from him because he was put in a situation to allocate all of his resources to legal fees, and he's not out to call shots. So they basically took it from him. This right here to me is a
can you do that?
I mean, listen, can you do it? You can do it if you put a Negro in a situation to where they can't defend themselves. It's kind of like how I had to settle my lawsuit against Hollywood for dirt cheap because of life issues and things that was thrown at me. This is a transference of wealth. You know, that's how I see it. When Diddy come out here, he gonna be broken in Christian Rock. So that's how I see it.
Well, damn.
He cracks me up. All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about Terrence Howard coming out today saying that Diddy tried to groom it. Can you groom somebody over that's 40, 50 years old? Can you groom a 50-year-old? All right. It says Terrence Howard claims Sean Diddy Combs tried to have SEX. Oh, this is not grooming. My bad. Tried to have SEX with him. I don't bend over in that way. He's so cute. I'm always and forever have a crush on him and look at him as Lucius. When it was Empire first came out, it was so good. He's gonna be Lucius forever. It says Terrence Howard made a shocking claim in a new interview that Sean Diddy Combs, who is facing federal SEX trafficking charges and a host of SA lawsuits, attempted to come on to him. And this is in quotes. Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come teach him how to blank, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. The Hustle and Flow star 56 alleged that on PBD podcast on Friday. Ooh. However, Howard claimed that when he would visit Combs 55 to work on his acting material, the embattled rapper would just be sitting and looking at him.
Oh, hell no.
I don't know, Terrence. I love you though. The Get Rich or Die Trying actor alleged that Combs then asked to hear his music, but when he tried playing it for him, the Bad Boy Records founder was allegedly once again just sitting there. Well, he's cute. He's very, very cute. Howard said he.
Go ahead. Let me know because I'm gonna shake the table a little bit. So go ahead and just deal with the facts as presented in the news media, because you know I'm in Hollywood.
He's cute. I mean, Diddy couldn't resist. It says Howard said he was confused by his alleged behavior, so he asked his assistant for clarity. Howard's assistant allegedly responded, "I think he's trying to F you." or sorry, which prompted the Iron Man actor to allegedly cut off all communications with Combs moving forward. Here he is in quote. Now, you know, to be hands off with somebody, Howard explained before noting he allegedly had similar experiences with a number of producers whom he had to threaten to punch or knock their heads off. Okay. When you approach a real man about, oops, the thing just dropped. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. The best man star added on the podcast, I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. Okay. I don't compromise. I don't play GAY roles. I don't kiss a man. Okay. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything. Okay, page 6 reached out to Combs and his reps for comments. Child, this is a mess. He's so cute. He is cute. What were you gonna say?
Well, first of all, I think we need to break this exterior that he's cute. People are gonna say that he's cute, even gay people, straight people, men, women. But he don't want y'all. He's with a little itty bitty Asian woman, so he don't want nothing. Terrence Howard has white. He's like an Evan Ross without the nepotism. So you know,
Nah,
he
nah.
no, let's be clear. He's like, I know this for a fact. He's like the Evan Ross. What he ain't telling y'all is he did what he had to do to get that bro to blow himself up. And then when he looked back and realized he did things that was not in his benefit and he has no generational wealth behind what he did to get it. Now, as the man in him, I want to chase after the money. He ain't no different than Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber let Diddy groom him. That's why he looked like what he looked like.
Denied.
For real, I'm telling you.
I was just on the phone with you and you was making sense. And now what?
I'm finna tell you, Justin Bieber and all them that did it and took take that. Terrence Howard sitting there acting like he ain't do nothing. This is the same man that lost his mind going to Neil Tyson and grassing and saying a square is still a square, a chair is still a chair. And he's saying, no, this is not it. So Terrence Howard is all over the place. He's scattered brain and give a little bit of jaguar right. He has damaged his reputation because he has done things with people. He's bringing out what Diddy wanted, but what happened when them other people wanted what they wanted and you gave them. Now, Diddy is insecure. He ain't man enough to get somebody like Terrence Howard. You understand what I'm saying? Diddy's insecure. And then on top of that, the reason Terrence met with him in LA at the Homies Hill House, which is registered as a property of Bad Boys Entertainment, he can write off whatever money that he would pay Terrence to do whatever Terrence was doing at his house. You want to be my acting coach, and he's collaborating with different actors and stuff. So Diddy just wasn't strong enough to get a pretty boy like Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, even if Diddy offered him the same amount of money, he want to sleep with somebody white for power and prestige. He the same thing. He need to stop capping.
Well, I believe the man myself.
You're not laughing. You are denied. Perry, what do you have to respond to that?
I believe that, man. I believe Terrence Howard. I believe he kept his manhood and didn't share it. And as much as Diddy went over for acting classes and was sitting there like Chester at a community park staring at him, I don't think Terrence Howard gave in.
So this is the same, and again, like Diddy is music and supposed to be a mogul with no talent, nothing to fall back on. And then 50 said a body of work, catalog, more opportunity, more prestige. Terrence Howard is what do you call it when you gave a pay, but you got to have prestige. Diddy does not have the type of prestige in show business as in acting world as Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard was out here bragging about 50 Cent junk. And 50 Cent was the one competing with Lee Daniels and ultimately won with Star. So because Terrence Howard want more opportunity, he gonna go the opposite way. Diddy wasn't man enough. It wasn't in the right position to appease Terrence to drop them draws or give him that or give him whatever. Okay, this is the man that get pedicures and manicures 3 and 4 times a week. So he's a pretty boy. And Terrence got a big pussy to sell, and Diddy just was not the right man that he wanted to sell it to. And so he jumping on the bandwagon, hating on Diddy, acting like he wasn't a participation in the casting couches and stuff.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe it or not.
All right, whatever. You ain't got to be
so wrong with it. Not.
At this point, you, Diddy, or 50 got to show some pictures or something. I ain't believing.
Terrence went bragging about the man junk publicly. What are you talking about?
No, deny.
I don't know what he said about it, but did he said it was inserted in him? Okay.
Something's wrong with my friend, y'all. Something wrong with my friend.
That's why I could never take him to church. I just can't never take him to church.
Oh, me? Oh, my God. Listen, I'm being in church. I'm like, oh, she fake it. Talk about she called the Holy Ghost trying to get them people money. The pastors, Marvin Sapp, they locking the doors out there. Niggas back there. Get your hand out my pocket.
Now,
okay, yeah, did not put no. He actually was a fool. I believe Terrence. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying I was real busy this week, but that Marvin Sapp was a trip. Mm-hmm. Now, how the hell are you gonna lock
the preacher
up in the church and start demanding? I mean, that would be the last.
Let me say this. I think that I wonder how come Terrence didn't say this earlier. I believe him. I believe Diddy was coming on to a lot of people. I really feel that Diddy unalived Kim Porter. This is just my beliefs, because she was going to out the fact that he was bi. And then he was like, I could do anybody I want now. And he just went freak off every day, freaking more freaks. That's what I think. But Terrence is such a good actor. I don't even care about all that nonsense. He's such a good actor. Perry, do you think he's still got his manhood?
Straight when he in the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not lying, and everybody that's saying Terrence did something is lying. It's just my belief. Shit. I gotta see some pictures. You know what? Because in this day and age, they gonna say everybody can get it or had it. You know what I'm saying? That's what people just say. But I don't believe that one.
Let me cover Justin Bieber really quickly.
Okay.
You don't believe it? But let's talk about who we think is a true Diddy victim. Justin Bieber. Have y'all seen him all drugged out all over the place? It's sad. It's really sad. Y'all ain't seen it?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I seen Justin Bieber in person, I knew he was a crackhead. It was about in 2014. I was over on Sunset and Western at the Food for Less because I was broke, eating ramen noodles, paying for acting classes. And I was going out with my groceries and I heard a commotion. It was this Hispanic dude that had a thigh on him. And it was Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez purchasing, and he was extorting them and getting more money out of them. And Justin Bieber's face looked like a bag of Nestle Crunch. It was so messed up because he was on that stuff. So he always had the bad skin. They just put the makeup and stuff on over it. And then more and more, he just Nestle Crunch and keloids now,
Damn.
I feel like did not try to make me laugh.
No.
I mean, damn, I know we got an age.
I'm telling you the truth.
I know we got an age gap and everything. But damn, sometimes I'm wondering what kind of books was he truly reading in school? Shit, what the hell going on?
No, Denat does stuff. He does stuff to make me laugh, and he's trying it right now. But look, I wanted to show y'all this picture on I seen this. It must have been on the Shade Room. Let me see if I can pull this up of Justin Bieber. It's just sad. I can't keep watching him go through this. I think maybe the trial brought it back up again. Something is wrong with Justin, and he's definitely drugged out. Let's see if I can find that picture.
Y'all, please hit the like.
Have you seen it?
Sorry,
have you seen this picture of Justin Bieber?
Well, I don't see it.
Let's see if I can find it. It's on the Shade Room somewhere. It's really bad. We got to pray for him, y'all, because he's strung out. And what the worst part is, he needs to be in some kind of therapy, because I do believe he was a Diddy victim, and you can't let this man win. I mean, I know you were a kid when it happened, and it's just sad. And it's just really, really sad. I want to see if I can find this picture.
There's allegations. First of all, it's public knowledge that I think in about 2016, L.A. Reid had referenced and said Justin Bieber was pretty like a woman when he was just 14. You guys can research that. That's public record out there. There's also allegations that Justin
Bieber, like a woman. When did he say that?
Reid, you guys can Google that. L.A. Reid said that Justin Bieber was pretty like a woman when he was just 14 and just connecting with Usher. So, and this goes back to what Terrence Howard was saying. When you've been passed around and your manhood been and gone, you take all the substances to numb the pain. And so that's why people in the industry are suspecting that Justin Bieber's on substances, because he has done stuff to sacrifice his soul, to sacrifice his integrity, and in order for him to feel whole, like I'm Justin Bieber, all of this music, this catalog, this love, and this fame. But when you've been met with Diddy, and take that, because Justin Bieber was in the custody of Diddy the same way Usher was.
Right.
And Usher's mentor and signee, L.A. Reid, said Justin Bieber was pretty like a woman at the age of 14. These are facts.
And I did hear some things about L.A. Reid too.
That poor kid.
But, yeah.
Damn. Oh yeah, L.A. Reid.
Can't even find him.
They said he was sleeping with Chili and Dallas Austin at the same time.
Who told you that? You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that. That's been going. I'm from.
You heard that?
Yeah, they said Dallas Austin, Chili, was messing around. That's why Dallas Austin got the residuals and the credits he need for the songs, and she got with him. Yeah, and you know, back then that was on Freaknik days. Back in 1994 Freaknik days, that's when TLC and them struck them deals with Dallas Austin and L.A. Reid.
Yeah, I can't find the picture, the latest picture, but he's definitely those are old. Those were back in February. This was this week, and he's lost even more weight. This is sad. But anyway,
Like
I just went off topic.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. Say it again.
No, I was just responding to
all right, so let's talk about what we came on to talk about. This. I think we got a delay again, Perry.
Yeah. I'm good. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I came on here because we wanted to talk about the Austin Metcalf situation. Austin Metcalf was a high school student. Let me see if I can pull this stuff up that Donat sent me. He was he was the football player that got into a fight and he got unalived because the other student pulled out a weapon. I don't even know if I can say the poke word. Let's see here. This is it. So let's refresh our memory and then we'll talk about how this has turned racial and ugly and just sad. Take a listen.
Sir said he had the alleged suspect in custody. Anthony replied, "I'm not alleged. I did it."
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not buying the excuse.
I had a dream last night, and Austin came to me and said, "I'm okay." It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt.
The last 24 hours, unimaginable for Austin Metcalf's father, his mother, his twin brother.
Right now, I'm really numb, and I really don't.
He has obtained new court documents revealing how Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a track meet in Frisco. Police say another teenager had fresh blood on his finger when they found him at Kirkendall Stadium.
The affidavit shows that when officers arrived, Carmelo Anthony told them he got into an argument with Metcalf. And when the arresting officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony replied, "I'm not alleged. I did it."
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not buying the excuse.
I really don't feel anything. I just have to function.
Metcalf, just 17 when he arrived at Frisco ISD's district track meet Wednesday. His final breaths taken before 11 a.m., police say, after being stabbed to death by a fellow Frisco ISD student, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, now charged with first-degree murder.
My world's a little shattered.
An argument over where Anthony was sitting while the meet experienced a rain delay sparked a confrontation between the teen and Metcalf, according to arrest paperwork. Anthony sitting underneath Metcalf's team tent. You could see it from the air when we flew over the crime scene. Metcalf from Memorial High, Anthony from Centennial. A witness telling police Metcalf told Anthony to move from under the team's tent because he didn't go to their school. The witness telling police Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." Investigators writing that Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a black knife.
I don't feel
And stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. When officers arrived, the knife was found and police say Anthony admitted to what happened, but said this to police: "He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself," even asking another officer if what happened could be considered self-defense.
What do you expect? If your
defense is not a reasonable excuse.
The family of Austin Metcalf. The 17-year-old died after being stabbed Wednesday morning at a track meet in Frisco. Austin attended Frisco Memorial High School, and his classmates returned to school today, still trying to process that loss. The district brought in extra counselors to meet with some of the grieving students and teachers. Metcalf was stabbed inside Frisco ISD's Kirkendall Stadium, and police arrested 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony from Centennial High School. Both students were competing at a UIL track meet when they got into an altercation, leading to Metcalf being stabbed.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So he's a twin. He's a twin, and his brother came over to see what happened, and he said he passed away in his arms. Now, this situation is turning racial because people are saying that Carmelo was protecting himself. He was a victim. He was being bullied. Let me let you listen to this before we start giving our opinions. It's horrible. Horrible.
About this story regarding Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf down there in Frisco, Texas. Austin got unalived. A lot of people are trying to make it a race issue, and it's not. It has nothing to do with that right there. But a lot of people are attacking this young man and are showing the negative side and everything. But I want you to see him in his positive side because this was self-defense. The story that's being told, Carmelo, he was sitting up under a tent, under the wrong tent and everything. That's what they said, under the wrong tent. And Austin came over there, told him to move. Said Carmelo got aggressive with him and everything, and then stabbed him with a knife in the heart and everything, and he passed away. That's not the full story. First off, Carmelo had permission from another coach to go over there and set up under that tent. He had permission. Another thing that was said and been spread out far and wide is that they didn't know each other. That's a lie, because they definitely knew each other. This is an older picture. They definitely knew each other. Other stuff that's coming out is Austin was being mean and harassing Carmelo, his girlfriend, actually, Carmelo's girlfriend. He was harassing her at a party that was about maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. Carmelo took up for his girlfriend. Then all of a sudden the fight broke out. Austin broke Carmelo's phone just the day before this incident took place. So the day of this incident, Austin confronted Carmelo for sitting up under the tent in the wrong area. They got into an argument. Carmelo's backpack was grabbed, and then he was called the N-word, and then Austin tried to grab him forcibly. He tried to forcibly move him. And it wasn't Austin by himself. Both of them got up there and attacked Carmelo. Both of them did. And there were a lot of witnesses down there that said that the twins, plural, tried to jump him. But actually, they did jump him. They stomped on him, and they broke his phone, and they tried to take his things. So nothing peaceful was about that whole thing. And something else is going to come out. This is allegedly. Something else is going to come out. He had narcotics in his system. He did. Austin, he had narcotics in his system. That's what caused him to be overly aggressive. So just like I said over on the book face over there, that was self-defense. That's what he did. He did self-defense. Everybody's coming for him. People trying to make this out of something that is not self-defense. Everybody's talking.
Okay, it's horrible. I cannot. I'm a mother, and maybe Denat has a different opinion because he's younger. I'm a mother. I cannot not feel their pain. Yeah, high school can be rough. Everybody's bullying everybody, and there's cliques. It's probably it can be one of the worst times in your life. But does a person deserve not to live anymore over a fight? He lost his life. I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying that he wasn't bullied. He probably was bullied. Probably called him the N-word and all that. But do you have a right to take away somebody's life? I don't know. Somebody died, so I can't just look at it like it was a fight. That somebody died. A mother lost their son.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. How do go next tonight, and then you go, Perry, because I'm a mother.
Well, despite our difference of political opinions, this is why I like tuning into Perry Sanders' show. There's a trend going around from the planes, and it got political, to the lady with the Michael Jackson Thriller edges that hit the girl upside the head with a baton, to these track meeters, these people at these track meet running people off the track and disqualifying. They're putting that out there in order to do the anti-miscegenation in 2025. Now, the federal government is taking back funding from all these schools, and so the school is funded by the state, and these states are making an example of why black and white people shouldn't be going to the same school, because now the Department of Education is gone. And specifically for this to happen and be highlighted in Texas, Greg Abbott is the governor who adamantly protested and was like, let's get rid of critical race theory. Ron DeSantis followed behind. So what they're doing is they're trying to take black and brown people out of these schools and make it white only. That's what they're doing. And you can't blame Donald Trump, blame Joe Biden, because affirmative action was overturned on his watch, and they put Brown versus Board of Education as a footnote. That's one thing. And then another thing is for this guy to be on his lean and have knowing this black young man out and played sports, the locker room talk. This white boy was a chaser to where he chased out there a certain black boy. That was like, I feel like they probably had something going on more that was not explained. And in the state of Texas, when you use force to violence and in self-defense, it must be proportionate to the threat that you're facing. And for both twins to jump him, it would put him at a disadvantage to where he would use something that might end up to be deadly force, because it's easy for him to testify and say, I felt like they was going to unalive me. So I think ultimately this black young man needs to be released, but you got two twins and stuff. And I know people that lost family.
You feel like he needs to be released because it was a bigger situation to this?
I feel like, well, even despite that, because that's just my theory, and I really like to unpack it, and it would take me to do research, to go into Facebook pages and seeing what common mutual friends, and if this was his girlfriend was involved, was they sleeping with each other, and all of this stuff happens in high school. This is around when all of this stuff happens, and this is something that I know about, especially with white boys like that that's chasing after these black men. Elon Musk doing it today too. And so what I'm saying is, even if they're not considering all of that, the fact that multiple witnesses have corroborated that both of the twins was jumping him, broke his phone, stomped him, he probably really in his mind and heart felt like, I need to use extra force because it's 2 against 1. And with the self-defense law that has to be litigated, and me personally, if I was called to the jury, I would say that it was self-defense. And the reason you want to feel bad is because it's a white person and white is right. He had to do what he had to do.
Don't stop. That is not why I feel. I feel bad because I'm a mother. And I tell everybody on my channel, every time my son goes out at night, I pray he comes back, because it's so much can happen to boys. I'm a boy mom. Perry, what are your thoughts? This is a crazy situation.
First of all, I'm going to say this. I feel like it was a tragedy, right? A life was lost.
It is.
Now, it's sad for a person to lose their son, daughter, anything. But 2 parents lost their son over this, whatever was going on. I don't feel that we may have enough evidence. I feel like before you just throw somebody in prison for life, they should have a due process in court.
Right.
Because now I would say this, just because you feel like somebody bullying you, it's no reason to shank them, right? It don't really give you that right to shank them. If that was just the only thing, they were saying something and I didn't like it, I shanked them. But it's no good reason for somebody to be jumped on either, or feel like they was outnumbered, because they saying that he was under the wrong tent. A coach sent him over there. They could have got somebody to remove him. But that now the story's coming out that they had some kind of personal issues going on at partying, breaking all the stuff up. And if he got another twin with him or whatever, think about it. It was under their tent. So he was around his friends. And if you are outsider sitting under that tent and people start gathering around, jumping on you, you outnumbered. But I'm not going to say, and the guy didn't run and try to hide from it. He said, yeah, I did it. So it is some...
It's a tragedy on both ends, because
I got a problem with what Perry just said. And
you can't just take out a knife and take somebody's life because you're being bullied.
You're being bullied and people are stomping on you and beat you. And so people are going to look at the fact that, okay, it was this team's tent and maybe he wasn't supposed to be here. That reminds me of Lil Baby. I don't know if you guys have been following up, but he's about to face a RICO because Fulton County Police Department feel like he filmed a music video in a rival territory and therefore he wasn't supposed to be there. Well, it's a free space. I don't have do not trespass. I don't have people or anything telling me that I can't be there legally, and I'm exercising my constitutional right regardless of how you feel. It's not like I'm stepping on your property and you have the right to tell me to get out. this is at public property. And if football players and athletes are always grilling each other and talking smack to each other. So you cannot tell me that just because he was partaking in some type of antagonistic approach to be competitive, that you have the right to jump him and stomp him out. And when he get up and use the defense that he did, and you're white, is Texas, I see his defense attorney calling racism and everything is on his side. It's not like he wasn't supposed to be there. He had a right to be there just as much as they did, regardless if he was in their face and bucking up. That's like a football player or a basketball player socking somebody out because they decided to get mad. No, you're going to get penalized. You got to go because you shouldn't have reacted that way. So just because he's unalive, you mean to tell me that he shouldn't be penalized by letting this black man walk free? Don't play with him. And next time, for the next person to know that you and your twin or anybody give me an unfair advantage, you might get stabbed up. And I bet you don't nobody mess with him no more.
Okay.
No, for real.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. First of all, I wanted to say this. Both of them lost their lives because life in prison is a loss of a life too.
Speedy trial, sir.
Go ahead.
My thing is, when you busted through the door, as I was speaking, you said you disagree. What are you disagreeing with?
I'm disagreeing with what I want to believe is that I'm disagreeing with your theory that he cannot claim self-defense because Texas has self-defense.
Oh, no. Okay, maybe I said it wrong, or maybe you heard me wrong. I didn't say he can't claim that. I said we need more proof, he's due his due process in court.
Well, let me ask you this.
Right now, we just taking whatever loosely saying this. Like this
side we don't know. Yeah,
we don't know.
So,
go ahead.
An element of self-defense is that you have to you don't have he doesn't have a duty to retreat. That's number one. That's indisputable. But what is going to boil down to under the self-defense law in Texas is that did he use reasonable force that matched the force that was used against him? That's the question of fact.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. But it's just so sad. We gotta wait till they go to court. That this happened. High school can get real dangerous. It's real dangerous, real cliquey, real catty. Yeah, it's just sad on both ends. Because remember, I got family that's been in jail for life. That's no life you want to live either. So,
and it hurts
but right now.
Mm-hmm. When they go to jail, you hurt for your family in jail, right, Sharrell? I just want to make that clear. You hurt, you feel their pain. They got chronic pain. Yeah, I have a brother in prison too.
Let's see what y'all think. We want to know what y'all thinking. That part, that's all I was trying to say. I just gonna let Dana do him because I knew he was gonna come with same energy. Lesson learned: bullying ain't the way to go. Okay, no, we're just responding to the chat. Let's see what people. His own brother said he laid his hands on him. Oh, well, first.
And that's what I'm saying. And then typically a brother gonna defend you, but nobody has any right to just walk up there and just lay hands on you. Now, like I said, just because somebody just tapped me on the shoulder don't really give me a reason to shank them. We don't know. Well, personally, I don't know the whole situation. That's why I say, because you can get this side screaming this side saying that. We need to see the evidence or what, some witnesses or a lot of other things going on. I mean, that's what I'm sort of thinking.
I don't know what I would do if my son went to school and didn't come back because of argument. It sounded like over a seat, but maybe it appears to be different. They said wasn't supposed to be on the campus that day. Who wasn't supposed to be on the campus that day? But he can sit wherever he wants.
Like I can go on campus at any time. Like y'all can't be like, oh, he didn't have any order. That's public property. A high school is. Do you not know that grown people can go to high school while school's in section to play tennis and use the court?
But was he not supposed to be there? Was he not supposed to be there? I don't know.
Show me the paperwork that said he wasn't supposed to be there is what I want to know.
Oh. Hi, LeVar. He says, I'm Cherokee Indian, Irish, and African American, and gay. I was bullied all throughout my school career. I took martial arts to try and defend myself. I probably would have done the same thing. Okay, this is what LeVar is saying, and this is true. Bullying can get to a point that you feel like you have no other options. That's what LeVar is saying. That you feel like you have no other options. That's true. I wasn't bullied, but I don't have to be bullied to know that it could drive you, insane, over the edge. This is bad. I mean, this is bad.
Yeah, no.
I'm just telling you my first reaction. I don't know. I will have to follow the case, but I don't know what I would do if my son went to school and didn't come home.
You have a breakdown.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Daryl says, I would. And when I saw that dad crying, it's just, but I haven't heard Carmelo's story.
Lady Justice is blind. Why? These things need to be litigated. We see time to time, more often than not, Black people falling victim to these crimes and white people getting away with it, or whatever the case may be. Lady Justice is blind, and Lady Justice ain't supposed to bring your emotions to the court, especially not when it comes to men.
I know I can't help it. I'm a boy mom. I get emotional.
Right.
Daryl says, I live in Dallas, and word on the street from everyone I know in Frisco and Plano that this was self-defense, but it's tragic situation for everyone involved. That's what they're saying in the streets. The news reporter that he wasn't supposed to be in school that day, but regardless, he could sit wherever he wants. He was bullied and harassed.
Well, I will say this. If you have, from what I know from high school, when they suspend you from school, you're not supposed to go to any school functions. You're not supposed to go to the football games, the jamboree, and I'm pretty sure it's the same. Now, if he was suspended from school and just showed up to that event, he was, first of all, he was someone he wasn't supposed to. So that right there, somewhere he was contractually, because that's a contract saying that I'm suspended and I'm not supposed to do this. You was contractually somewhere that you was not supposed to be, and something happened to you. That's almost like having an injunction or trespassing order, and they show up and you do something to them, and then they retaliate and said, I was defending myself. You couldn't have been defending yourself if you was trespassed from that premises. So that is something that sparks my curiosity.
Yeah, well.
D says, I had to defend. Go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I get what you're saying, if that's true. I mean, because like I'm saying, all this information we would probably need in court. Is it true because the reporter said that or whatever? He didn't supposed to be there. What did that mean? Was he trespassing? Did the school come out and say, press charges for him being whatever on the premises? I don't know, but even if he was not a track member, because I would take him that he would be running track too. If he could have been an innocent bystander just sitting there, it's no right for somebody to assault you,
right?
Get hands on you. Now that's when things get blurry, because now we don't know how he felt, and if they already had some run-ins prior days, his fear level could have been high. But like I said, whether Black or white or whatever, I'm just need to get all the information.
If he was suspended and he was not supposed to be at no school functions because of 5-day, 2-day, or even 1-day suspension, and you was suspended on that day, you was somewhere where you weren't supposed to be. And if you wasn't there, you wouldn't have to defend yourself. So he's gonna get you found guilty, if that's the case.
Well, I don't know. That's like two different things.
That's common sense.
Well, he didn't attend class. He was suspended for that part or whatever, or participating in any sports, right? So we don't know the definition of all of it.
Go ask your son. If they get a referral and get suspended, and they're the star football player, and they're suspended, and they got that extracurricular, they can't get, no, you suspended. Sit your down. Everything connected to your school activities, including extracurriculars and privileges, like going to a football game, is suspended. So if he was suspended and he was there, he's not going to persevere on the self-defense theory.
I feel you, right? What I'm saying is, now he's suspended from attending school and any school activity. Now, maybe he shouldn't have been on the premise, but even if you was wrongfully there, you can't say that everybody got the right to jump you.
But Perry, what if he was wrongfully there and suspended, but for something might be connected to those people? I mean, we already see.
We definitely need to hear more of the story.
We do. I'm gonna unpack it, and we're gonna come back and visit this because Perry, you ain't finna be sent up here with this.
No.
Kamala should have been the president.
I'm saying that we can speculate on both sides just because this person said his brother said, the twin brother, according to somebody, said that his brother touched him first. So that's assault in a certain kind of way. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's gonna be a lot of.
You can be somewhere where you're not supposed to be to defend yourself. I'm gonna have to do research. We're gonna continue this conversation. We have to, because I think this is a great debate. It's actual content that we're debating about.
And I think it's good that if we get more information, because at this point, I just think both sides deserve justice. Because people are gonna say either you this side or that side. Justice. That's what we got these courtrooms for a chance to either be proven guilty or not guilty. You know.
But still, too. I'm an emotional person, so I can't leave my feelings behind.
The court don't give a damn how you feel. I'm trying to tell you.
But I have to say this as a mother. Both lives have been changed forever. Austin, I'm 50-something years old. I can't imagine losing my life in high school. How much life I missed out on. He's a twin. Also, the other side for Carmelo, I mean... Jail, a lot of people say, well, at least your son is still here. You can talk to him. I'm telling you, from my personal experience, jail is a living hell. It's a living hell. There's no way to live. There's gangs up in there. You got to protect your virginity up in there. They fight over everything. They got all these crazy rules, and you need somebody on the outside to send you money. Jail ain't free, or you'll be hungry. You got to pay for phone calls in there. Both lives are. It's just a bad situation. It's a bad situation, and I wish that somebody could have stopped it before it got to this. It's just a bad situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but for real, in most cases, a lot of murders and stuff, things go down. When people look at it, we'll always go back and say, it's a bad situation. Wish this thing wouldn't happen. And half the time it's over some bullshit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, but like as a parent, and I would be crushed to have my kid go to anywhere and then not ever come back. But I'll also be crushed if my kid got jumped and facing life in prison.
Right. It's a polarizing situation.
Yeah.
It's a horrible situation. If he wasn't supposed to be there, would you say Denat?
If that was my child and you get drunk by these redneck white people and all these other white people cheering them on and you down, you better do what you need to do. And we're going to go jury trial expeditiously. You understand what I'm saying? So
no, you heard that they was cheering them on, Denat.
I mean, I know. Listen, this is Texas. This is the last state after slavery was abolished. This is the last state that said, okay, we got to do it because the president said it. This is the stubborn, redneck, thick chasers want to assert dominancy over anybody black state that we're dealing with. We got to consider that as well.
You do have to consider that. Also, too, though, the guy whose TikTok I just played, he said that they were friends at one point and showed that picture. We got to hear it. We got to hear it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Past them sleeping together is what I'm trying to tell you, but we ain't gonna go there.
Right. Well, but I would say this too, though.
They was mad. They were jealous of each other's girlfriend one day. Come on, these are the facts that we got.
And I'll just say
LeVar
this.
says he doesn't agree. LeVar has been bullied, so he knows you could push a person to the edge. Bullying, you can push a person where they can't take it no more and they snap. That's why they made the TV show called Snap. You could push somebody to the edge and they snap.
And these overprivileged white people be treating black people and minorities like trash. That's why they got a TV show on HBO called Euphoria.
Damn.
I can't.
Look, I would say this though, because the nada go on and on, and because he trying to raise my blood pressure, right?
You like me, Perry. You love me, Perry. I love you
He's
too.
trying to raise my blood pressure, but I got a message for you.
You can't get rid of me, bitch.
Now, I would go say this too. Now, check this out. As much as we could say, yeah, if he was suspended, he shouldn't have been on the premises. If the guy didn't want to fight, he should have never put his hands on him or assaulted him, because and antagonate him to fight is what I'm trying to say. Like,
right,
it's a tragedy on both sides. Let's keep it real. Somebody lost their life. Some parents
Right. And somebody wants us to jump in. Miss Diva says, I can't believe Sharrell and Perry are that naive to still seal with no nuts. Listen, Miss Diva, I'm probably way older than you and see the whole picture because I done been through this shit before. So you do have to wait till you see what goes on in court. But right now, I'm telling you, both sides' lives has been changed forever. You're just seeing it from whoever side you're on and not realizing that both sides have destroyed their lives. Both sides. Because it's not just him. When you leave, you take your family with you. It's nothing worse than a mother losing a son.
Sharrell,
you have a hole in your heart forever that never closes when you lose a child. And I cannot ignore that. It's a pain that you're probably young and never experienced death yet, but you're going to. And if it's your child or anybody you love, it leaves a hole in your heart that never goes away. I can't acknowledge that it's not happening right here. Both sides. And when you are the person with a life sentence sitting in jail, that's a punishment too. So young people are all hot-headed. They want to get all tough right away. And I'm saying slow your roll. It's a tragedy any way you look at it. And we need to see more evidence. And that's where I stand. I'm not going to be up here. Yeah, F Austin, fuck his family. You're not getting that out of me. I'm not young. That's the way to handle a situation when you're older. How would I look coming up here saying F him? Glad he dead. That's crazy. It's crazy talk. That's youth talk. They always want to buff up and argue. Nobody's perfect. But nobody's life should have been taken. He shouldn't have been bullied either. This is going to be a difficult case. It's going to be a difficult case.
Well, Sharrell,
I don't care what you say. I'm not going to celebrate somebody losing their life. That's crazy.
Sharrell?
I don't know if you talk about me or the other person. I don't cheer when people die. I just don't. It's just hard. Both sides. Death is probably one of the hardest things you will ever face in your life. And I don't think you experienced that yet. When you deal with that, damn the tough talk. Y'all ain't got me up here. I'm just sad because you remind me of family I done lost. You never see them again. Over some high school shit. I'm a mother of 3 Black women that attended middle school and high school in Frisco, Texas. My twins, who are my youngest, are turning 20 this year. That area of Texas is hard for any child to navigate. Well, everybody's saying it's a racist county. Now, I'm Black. I know what that's like. I need to see more, but right now I'm still feeling bad for both parents. I'm not going to cheer that he's dead. I'm not going to do it. You can do it. I'm not going to do it. But it's not saying that he wasn't bullied. I didn't say that. I said it's a tragedy all the way around, and I need to see more evidence. But right now, both sides have lost their children because getting put in the system, you might as well go jump off of a bridge. People carry bullying scars forever. This is true. They never forget how they were treated. That's true. That's true. And bullying can push you off the edge. It can make you snap. I'm not saying that it doesn't make you snap. Make you snap. But I haven't heard it yet, the details. Perry, what are you going to say?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, because we got a bad delay. So, because Denat was going to say something.
Go ahead, Denat.
And when you was talking about that, I think that Diva person, was you responding to that or somebody in the chat? I couldn't remember.
Diva.
Because she was saying something about basically she didn't think we was that naive to seal with no nuts. And I think maybe you could have took a different, I mean, I'm taking it that she was talking about Donat.
That is true. But I was
and we don't went around the world and back.
Yeah, that
being
was
in
true.
prison, damn it. Being in prison is a serious matter. I don't give a damn, I ain't gonna vouch. And then I'm trying to slide in, but we got this delay going on.
LeVar says people have unalived themselves because of being bullied. Especially when you're gay or don't fit the stereotype of the jock, or going to an all-white school and you're only the black person. That's hell. That's hell too. I don't know.
Yeah, someone and shout out to the person that sent you a super chat. There was a comment attached to that. That this is the type of, if you can highlight that again, the information she gave us, regardless if it's a paid or not. She said she's from that part of Texas, and as a black woman, it's difficult for any child to navigate that area. So she probably, and not saying you, but other mothers in that area probably told their sons, when you come across these racist rednecks that want to hurt you and that will probably unalive you, and I'm pretty sure these are the sun downtown mentality type of people. So with that culture there, we have to take in consideration of all of that. And what I love about Sharrell is because when I go too far this direction, she'll bring me back and make me be like, okay, damn, I get what you say. So this is a polarizing case, and this is very important. But again, I think this is all tied to politics and the Fed taking out the Department of Education in the states, like the states wanting to represent themselves and what their education needs to look like. Brown versus Board of Education was a federal case. They use it as a footnote to overturn affirmative action. In these days and times, if you are in that school, you can just go online. I don't think they want black and brown people to attend their schools physically. In this case right here.
Okay. So I've lived in the South before and hated every single minute of it. It is unequivocally racist to the point where you do snap. Like, I grew up in Detroit and California. When I moved to the South, it was things that I never experienced before. And you see my ass moved. That's the South is like no other. I don't think it's ever going to change. It's going to stay racist forever. It's deep rooted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot about this case because now, I mean, shit, I can't take the South. And people are supposed to unite and we're all supposed to be one big happy family, but it's not true. Racism is so divisive, huh?
So even as an adult, I'm looking back at people I grew up with, and now they're raising kids, and they're raising kids to fear the police and to believe that white people are the oppressor and stuff. So at some point, we have to take accountability for what we do and say, we're not going to train our kids to fear the police. We're going to tell our kids to go and learn their rules and regulations so they know what to do and not to do, and ultimately use that to make the world their oyster to get out of that situation. Even if we go back to Du Bois, where they had this notion of the talented 10th, even back then, when they first started these HBCUs that they're trying to take out in 2025, the brothers and sisters knew that you had to lead the South to go out and get some experience so that you can understand what's going on and have a different perspective in the world, because the racist people are going to continue to be who they are. And the black people who perpetuate these and they and them and blame everybody else for their problem, they're going to stay the same too. So this case is deep, and I can't wait to cover this. I want to come back here and cover this with you guys too. So we're gonna do a deep dive.
I don't know. It says, I'm also a veteran. This is Latanya. Living on post was hard for my kids, but not as hard as there. I don't condone violence whatsoever. Okay, I don't think anybody condone violence, but did not brought up a point. Maybe we got to teach our children how to deal with bullying before it actually happens. Easier said than done. But my best friend is trans, and the bullying and what LeVar was talking about is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I mean, Perry, you've been with us, like the whole gay and trans people that are against that stuff.
Right.
They're bullies. I can't even describe it. And I'm not, it didn't happen to me. It happened to my best friend. And it can push you over the edge. People are so rude.
Right. Everybody stop. Yeah.
I mean, I've had people not serve us before or just make comments. It's just,
it's deeper than
push you over.
And then mainly the looks. When you walk in, we just at an event, minding our own business.
They're watching. My best friend is watching.
But let me put this into a different perspective. Whose fault is it that me being from the South, I would conceptualize that I'm not going to have empathy for somebody that look like me? So why would I expect white people to have that same empathy that I'm lacking for my own community, or even I know how to express myself? So who is them and they? So it goes back to, we need to teach our black boys and girls to work with and around the system. That's the game.
Racism is such a tricky subject because I'm black. I experience racism damn near on a daily basis. But I know all white people ain't bad.
Right.
They're just not. But you could think that easily because of the racist ones are so horrible. But, you know, my son-in-law is white, and I have to reserve room that not all white people are bad, but it's so easy to believe it because the ones that are bad are really, really bad. But I can't come out and say all white people are bad. I just cannot do it.
Right.
It sounds crazy, I know, and y'all getting mad in the chat. It's true.
You know what true. I learned you have to condemn.
But I understand being black. You always have your guards up when you.
That's why you have to condemn systems of oppression opposed to people, and condemn the people. Like, you understand? Like, when you go to your job, you put on a certain face to do what that job is telling you to do, right? So there can be a good, clean white person that's a police officer that know what cold blue means. So he gonna wear that when he or she at the job. And you got to get them to bridge the gap between who they are professionally and who are they personally, and get them to see it. You know, you catch more flies with honey instead of vinegar. You got to type of like let them see that you are participating in a system that's made to be at my detriment. Is this what you want to do? And if they say yes, you can chalk it up. There was a book written in 1994, I believe, by one of the foundings, and he was challenging the NAACP to put a definition of what is and what isn't racism. If you do everything that you do in your power to work with these people and they still deny you and you got the credentials, they are racist. So condemn the systems that they perpetuate opposed to them as an individual. Let's start there.
No. Yes. It's a hard subject to talk about, especially at this day and age when racism is, because I feel because of Trump, is being more blatant these days than, you know, in the past.
And then basically what they're not saying, like the system, blame the system for being racist. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So here's a clear
And
example.
that's how that system came there. It became there ever since slavery. That was the system. If you know what I'm saying. That's where behaviors are formed throughout all the years. And the judge, you know, the courts are filled from that point. Wasn't no slave or judge. You know what I'm saying? It was the other people, but it's a different topic. But like people said in the chat, somebody said, is this a racist crime that happened, or was it two jocks out of control? At this point, they knew each other. So I'm not even gonna say it was race. It's just somebody who didn't like each other like that at this point. I can't say it was racist. You know, I just can't say it was racist.
I don't know. This is a touchy subject, but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Society is hypnotized to unconsciously view Black people in a negative way. That's true.
Right. Factual.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's true. Maybe we're always going to see different. I don't know. I'm from South Tennessee, and I was bullied as an adolescent to a teenager. I thought of various ways to unalive the bully. Found her instead. I snapped and didn't realize the damage I'd done. Damn, that's what happened here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have talked about it. It's a lot. It's a lot of different angles. And
Sherelle,
I would say talk about it because it's something that's happening in our reality. It's our reality. This is what's going on. A lot of people don't talk about it. How can you solve a problem if you never discuss the problem? Now, and even talking about it may not be the whole thing. Please put the link in so I could come up.
What y'all think? Should we take calls? I don't want it to get racially explosive. Matter of fact, I probably shouldn't have did this video, but we were talking about it anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This is the wave. Like we need the fact that it makes you uncomfortable is the fact that we need to talk about this.
But Sherelle, make sure you see faces that they can change it once they come up, but you need to see something. Okay?
Right.
This is social media. Things get crazy.
Heated. It's a lot, and now the whole country's going to be involved in this because it's gaining so much traction, and no matter what happens, both boys' life is over.
Right.
Because I do also know jailhouse side. Like it's just, I know this for a fact that I have several people, a lot of people in my family with life sentences. And I know that when you're in jail, you wish that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they could talk tough, a good game. You wish you start reevaluating things when it's too late. Can you show me your face, Magic? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm bringing you up. Go ahead, put it back on. You can put it back. Put it back.
You can put it back.
I'm gonna bring you up. She said no. Let's go.
Okay.
Hi, Magic.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Girls, it's a touchy situation. What you got to say about it?
In regards to what? Where would you like me to start?
Whatever your heart desires. How do you feel about it? It's just an awful situation.
Okay, because I went in and out and I couldn't hear. So can you just like give me just a little quick
Yeah. Do you think that do you still feel sorrow for the white guy if you found out the black guy was being bullied? Yes.
It is very hard. I would say yes and no. Strictly because we have to see. I would like to say the majority of us do come from a home and ancestry that is built from love. We teach our children love. I've come from a family that have had that, but I've seen in instances where there's other people of my ethnicity that I, felt that was like a brother or sister, and they actually was the opposite. Because like they say, all skin folk is not kinfolk, right? And that is very real, especially in the corporate world. We want to believe that, if something happens to one of us, we're all there, we're ready to go. We're ready to justify and say, you know what, this is what happened, and, be supportive. However, in certain situations, it gets a little bit sticky and it gets a little bit awkward. In a defensive type of way, yes, you have to defend yourself by all means necessary. I mean, I took defensive classes. I took swimming classes when I was young. I was joking around with a friend of mine earlier today, telling about the piano lessons that I was privileged to have. And my mom, she made that possible for me and my sisters to have. Not everybody had that growing up. So what I would say is that we have to, look at every situation and analyze it with a fine comb tooth before we make a decision. Because not everything is what it appears to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
It's just. But I'm going to follow the case.
And then what I will say too, let me just pick. I did wanted to say this, and it just came back to me. Okay, so I do know this because I have worked in agencies where there were kids there, foster care, whether it was after, daycare centers and things like that. And what I did acknowledge is that the Caucasian kids, they stood away from the African-American kid. Any kid that did not look like them, the majority of them, they stood away from them. And I tried my best to figure that out, why. And I remember one day I was going down in a train station, and there was a Caucasian dad, and he had a daughter. She looked like 3 years old. She had a scooter with her. Mm-hmm. So he took the scooter and he walked down. He was like 20 steps ahead of her, and she was at the top of the stairs. So I felt bad because I was like, I'm walking down the street. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, let me hold her hand and walk her down the rest. He was at the bottom of the stairs. Think of it. Just put this in your mind. 25 to 30 steps. She's at the top, like she's shivering, shaking like a little chicken. I reach out my hand to this little Caucasian girl. The look she gave me,
oh wow,
was like, you better not even come close. And she gave me that look like, and and then when I looked down, I saw her dad, and I stepped back. I said, oh my gosh, they're teaching them these things from the home. They're teaching them that we are the enemies. They're showing them things. They had this woman that just came out on a meme, and she said she still has her whips. She still has her ropes. She still has her things. This is why they say I have a black friend. You'll never come to their home. You'll never go to their attic and see what they have in the basement, because it's memorabilia of what their ancestors did to us. But we teach our children love. We don't teach our children that that's the enemy that it says in the Bible. And I think we need to start doing that, because they're teaching their children that we're their enemy and they're out for us.
Thank you, Magic. You're speaking from your heart. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
LeVar, welcome, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
It
What's
must
up,
be
bro?
pretty bad for you to come up. What's going on? What you got to say?
Oh, man. I think that this conversation, it's needed. It's a conversation that we should definitely have, because, I mean, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I was bullied like from the second grade till I graduated and everything like that, just because of my nationality and my sexual orientation. But, I can't sit here and say that I would have reacted differently if I was in his situation. But I understand your position, Sharrell. I mean, being a parent and everything like that, I totally understand where you're coming from. But I mean, I probably would have, if what happened was true, in fact, in that he was jumped by two people and if that happened, I probably would have reacted the same way. But
And if you
like you
would
said,
have
Sharrell,
reacted that
losing
way,
a parent.
and LeVar, if you would have acted that way, you would have threw your life away. Because life behind bars is
Yeah.
no life. We
No,
got to
it's not.
remind people, life behind bars is no life. It's very, very hard. But you know what? I
Absolutely.
sympathize with you, and I kind of can relate because of my best friend. I mean, my best friend gets treated awful.
Oh yeah, I've
And when
had
they
jobs
find
where
out
I was the
that,
only.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I've had
Anyway,
jobs where I was
hi
the only
Mo.
white person or black person. So yeah, I've been treated
Yeah,
horribly at jobs before.
it's true. It's true. It is. There's. I don't even know if there's a word for it, but if people find out you're gay or trans or anything like that, they just lose their mind. I don't know. It's not like you're asking them to join in. It's just crazy. People just, I don't know. They judge. They
But this
judge
is a
other people without
conversation,
knowing.
and definitely a needed conversation. Though I am really enjoying this. It's these are topics that you really need to dive into.
Yeah. Hi Mo, sound off. You're on mute. You're on mute.
There we go. I was bullied for a physical challenge that I had. So it wasn't because of LGBTQ or anything like that, or being the only black. It was because I had a physical disability. And I was bullied for that. But I never thought to do anything about that because that wasn't how I was raised. So thinking about that, that young man decided to take a knife with him. He had a choice. He didn't have to take that knife with him. And he knew that they were going to play against this team where this guy was. So I'm thinking, was there something that he was thinking about before he went? So he said, let me take a knife because I might see him.
I mean,
That goes to
that shows premeditated. This is what you're
right.
saying.
Yeah. So I'm wondering about that. If what they're saying is true, that he was bullied, he could have said, I'm not going to this meet because, I'm sick. I got COVID, anything. He didn't have to go there where he was. He didn't have to take a knife when he went there. So that's going to be a hard sell for some people. I totally understand if two people were jumping on him. Yeah, but you stopped and you went to get something to protect yourself. You didn't protect yourself with what you had in your hand already.
Well,
so that's a hard sell.
I would like to, can I chime in? I just would like to say in Texas specifically, different states have self-defense laws. You do not have a duty to retreat, which means that if that person got up off of you, you're supposed to run away if you could. If he got up off of you and you were supposed to fight the way that you saw fit, pursuant to the amount of force was used against you, that is operable under self-defense. So, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a case. Look, Tanya, go ahead, Perry.
I was gonna say this real fast too, and I understand what Mo's saying. Well, why would you need to do this? But in some areas, let's keep it real. Some people end up that don't take weapons or something to protect themselves end up hanging from trees. So
yep,
the logical sense is saying, hey, do not take these things around. But if you feel threatened at any time in certain areas, you do need to have some type of protection. I mean, I'm not saying like you said with the story, we need to let it unfold and hear it all. I'm not here to say what happened in the story. Just let it fall out. But you can't, just like hell, women need to be protected. If they got something, I'm just saying.
Can I just chime in really quickly?
Okay. The big picture is that if he is coming from a neighborhood where he isn't safe, where he has to travel to and from, and his coach says, I know what you have, just keep it hidden or keep it out of sight, then here we go with protecting everybody from everything. They're banning weapons. You have to walk through a metal detector for a game. That takes all the fun out of it, just because of an incident like this.
Let me let Tanya jump in. Is it Latoya? Go ahead, Latoya. Sound off.
Latoya. It's Latoya. It's okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, I have 5 daughters. My 3 youngest went to high school and middle school in Frisco, and we moved to that area after I retired from the military. I was stationed in Fort Hood. I got a tech job at one of the big tech corporations and had to move to that area. So what I will say, as far as some of the comments that were made about teaching our kids to be resilient in those kind of situations, we could teach our kids from the day they're born to the day we let them go. No black or brown or Hispanic, Indian, any race child is going to be prepared for the real life racism that they're going to face until they actually go through it. The
Is it
sad part,
bad over there?
it's not the best. It's not the best. I will say the African American people are the minority. The majority is largely Caucasian and Asian. And that's just by design based on the income, levels and the jobs that we hold as far as in tech or whatever have you. Um, but
Can
so
I
I
ask you
hear,
this?
sure.
You live in that area. Will there be a fair trial? Most likely, yes or no?
So I moved from that area. I live in Arkansas,
Oh,
and it's a lot of the same where I am now from where I was there. But from my past experiences, we were there for like 6 years. It's not going to be fair. It's not going to be a fair trial for that young man. It's not.
mm,
And again, I don't condone violence in any way, shape, or form. I
mhm.
know bullying can get under a kid's skin. I've had the stuff that my daughters went through in that area. I had one that I had to put in inpatient treatment because of the bullying that she faced in
Oh,
that area.
wow.
It's
Really?
and this is just like I said, it's just me. Don't I never call up. I always comment, and I've been a member of yours since day one. And I've
Oh,
never
thank
tried
you.
to call and join, but because this is something that I'm familiar with, an area that I'm familiar with, and I know that it's a charged conversation on both sides. It's just it's a lot, and I feel sorry for that young man. He's not going to get a
That's why
fair
I came
trial.
up.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he done got himself in the situation now. Uh, you know, yeah, damn. It's
Yeah, he got
sad.
himself in that situation, but and I saw the pictures of him and the young man hanging out and being cool, but peer pressure. Like I said, and people of our complexion are the minorities in that area. We just are. We just are. And where you'll have some kids that aren't blinded by what they're taught by their parents and their family, at some point, that peer pressure, that familiar pressure, which is even stronger than peer pressure, is going to kick in. And that
Ooh,
is
I see what
devastating
you're
harm.
saying, girl. This is a terrible. It's just terrible. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
bad all
It
around.
is.
It's bad
And
all around.
these are teenagers.
Yeah,
Right.
Damn.
yeah.
But this has been going
It's,
on since time began.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm gonna follow it as hard of a case that it is, because this kind of stuff gets really emotional and people start I'm gonna
it
cover
does.
it because it's news and we've got to face reality. I'm still cover it. It's
It
We
hopefully,
need to
does.
get
And
and
like
more.
I
then I
said,
have a tendency to get emotional when you know what I mean. Like
I do
if it,
too. And then when you started
yeah.
talking about the story, I'm telling you, I was sitting here and I'm packing for a vacation and I started tearing up and I'm like, I never call into
Oh,
anyone's YouTube show, but I need to call into this one because it's like I said, it's an area where I raised black kids that went to high school and middle school there. It's an area I'm familiar with. It's a legal system, unfortunately, I'm familiar with. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you
But
mean. Yeah.
it's it's just so bad, and I feel bad, and my sympathy and my heart goes out to the parents who lost their son, but my sympathy and my heart also goes out to the black parents that lost their young black son.
Right.
It's
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Hate it when stuff
it's
like this
bad all
happens.
around. But that's all I wanted to come up
Sherelle,
for.
whenever
I'm getting down off of here.
Thank
I
you.
thank you
I
for bringing
appreciate
it up.
it, Latoya. Take care.
Yep.
Don't be a stranger.
Thanks.
What'd you say, LeVar?
Sherelle, whenever you started like getting emotional, I was like, oh, the emotions are swallowing up Sherelle.
This is gonna
She
be
getting
crazy.
swallowed.
I'm being swallowed up. Swallowed up. It's a lot. And this is just the beginning. I'm going to cover the trial. Denot will be back because he already do a deep dive, and it's just
Yeah, I really want to unpack this story.
Yeah.
But everybody's talking about it, so we might as well join in the conversation.
And I'll say this too, Sherelle, because I seen it in the chat. Not everybody in Texas is racist, and I don't think nobody on the panel really referred to everybody that wasn't a minority races in Texas. I think they were just saying
Right.
areas, and being a black woman or whatever for our kids, you might not see it being one way, but we might look at it another, or vice versa. But it's not like a race thing right now. We just talking
It's not
about
a race thing, but a lot of white people don't understand what a sundown city is. There are areas that we can't go. We just can't go there. I mean, it's an unspoken rule to all of us. I don't even think they know about that. Like, get out before sundown, or you might not live to see another day.
They don't have any place that they can't go. If they
Right.
want to go, like on the west side of Chicago, that used to be predominantly black and awful, they could walk down with no fear at all. That if they look crazy, then the police will be there in 5 seconds. We do the same thing, nothing. You wait, be put on hold. I was put on hold. I called 911. Hold, please. I'm like, what? So while race isn't in it right now, it's a factor. It's just out there because it was basically two boys that knew each other that fought. He went over there and sat under his tent. Big deal. Maybe he was like, okay, I'm going to confront him now. We going to have it out. Because it didn't start off as a fight. It started off with words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's some places here in Pittsburgh where white people can't walk down the street.
Really?
America's so
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because I worked with oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, LeVar.
I worked with I had a friend who was on a construction crew, and they had to go into a predominantly black neighborhood, and their foreman told them, keep your windows rolled up when you're at stop signs, do not stop, and these were like white people like going down the street, they keep your windows rolled up and everything like that, because you'll get carjacked and everything like that if you're white.
It's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, LeVar, thank you for always supporting us and coming to every show. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Before I get off, I want to tell you, Sharrell Perry, Denod, you guys are awesome. I love your podcasts and everything like that, and I love these discussions. So I appreciate you having me, and I'll always continue to support.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off. I didn't expect to be on this long. Thank you for talking about this, Denot, and bringing that to my attention. Thank you for all the callers. I gotta head out, and I'll be back on later tonight. Yeah, we'll just come back later. We might do Perry's little thing that he does, right? Anyway, let's say bye on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, guys.